Okay, today's quote is from Albert Einstein. Definitely an interesting person to get a quote from, someone who needs no introduction. And he shares with us, we cannot solve problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them. I had to read it a couple times for it to sink in, for it to kind of catch. I was like, what? Albert, what are you talking about? Let me read it again. We cannot solve problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them. When we came up with them. When we realized the problem. The thinking that we used to discover there's an issue. The mindset that you have to be in to search out issues, problems around you. If you create an environment to pressure test a platform, say a software or even equipment, and thereby discover a deficiency, can you then immediately in that same environment look for a solution? I do reviews of streaming platforms, and it's something that literally I am sought out for this because there's something that I do in my review process. There's a certain mindset that I put on. There's a certain analytical lens that I view the platform through, especially given my experience with multiple other streaming platforms, that allows me to provide feedback and suggestions that the creators of that platform never thought of before. But I never provide solutions. Quite literally, it's not my role. Plus, I didn't know how the platform was built. So to provide solutions without the insight of how the thing was built in the first place would be presumptive at best. But it's more than that. The reason why the platform creators sometimes have these blinders on and cannot see some of the issues that us as users can see is because there's two different types of thinking at play. The creator thinking. I am a creator. The consumer thinking. I consume. The maker thinking. The solver thinking. and the analytical thinking. The let me kick the tires and run it through its paces thinking. This is why the two exist together. They need one another in order for us to come up with great products, in order for us to come up with things that will enable the end result to be better and meet market demands. Are there different types of thinking that we can use? Are you able to shift between those modes of thinking? Do you have access to multiple hats equipped with different gears inside? Let me say this way. I always have Kanique proofread my stuff. I have her proofread my manuscripts, my notes for speaking. I have her proofread even my social posts. I have her proofread because invariably she always finds something to critique, some feedback to give. She always finds something. I'm telling you, there are times I will read it through myself after I've created it, give it to her, and the page will be read by the time she gives it back to me. And here's the flip. I also proofread for her. You would think that it's a one-way street. Like, she can proofread for me because she just catches things easily. I catch things sometimes when I proofread for her. The problem is that when I'm making the speech, when I'm writing the script, when I'm putting together the caption for the social post, I'm in creator mode. I'm in creator mode. She's in critique mode. She's in feedback mode. She's reading it with fresh eyes and is able to listen. Authors have done this for generations. You never put out a book without a full proofreading session. Because when the author is in creator mode, a creator mindset is not looking for the mistakes. In fact, I would even submit that seeing problems, the first part of that quote from Albert Einstein says, we cannot solve problems with the same kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them, which denotes that there is a kind of thinking that we can tap into that allows us to see problems. So I'll ask you, does everyone see the problems you see? I can tell you it's a solid no. In fact, the reason this series started is because when I'm sharing what I see in the quote with others, they're telling me they didn't see that. Or better yet, they didn't think of it that way. Seeing problems others don't, in my opinion, is a mindset, but even more, it's a gift. I had a client, and in his content, he asks this question to be able to pull out from others this curiosity. He asked this question to help them see that there's an issue that they have not been privy to. Now, while his question isn't the point of today's morning motivation, I'm going to share it with you. And I hope that you won't go off the deep end once I ask it. And he says, have you ever wondered why you can pay off $100,000 car in 5 years, but it takes 30 years to pay off a $100,000 house? And as soon as he asks the question, everybody's like, what? Wait a minute. The issue for him is his Asperger's mind. Asperger's is a mild form of autism, but his Asperger's mind sees the world differently. And in his mode, he looked at the pattern of an amortization schedule that is put out by the banks whenever you get a 30-year loan. And he realized there's an issue with how we're paying this back. It's a different mode. There's an analytical mode to the mind. There's a critique mode to the mind. There's a creative mode to the mind, a solution mode to the mind, a process mode in the mind. We cannot solve problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them. What kinds of thinking have you employed? What kind of thinking have you hired? Like, which thinking are you interviewing this week? What thinking, what mindset modes are you cultivating? What mindset modes are you training and now have access to? Albert Einstein is sharing that finding ways to quickly shift between your employees enables you to go from analytical to solution. And when you're able to shift, you can, in that other mode, solve the problem that you just discovered.
There, problem solved.
Good friend of mine and mentor said, the world pays for solutions to problems. That's just the truth. Businesses are started because there's a problem they hope to solve. Services that they provide that solve a problem. Content is created because there is a problem, hopefully, that they intend to solve, a question that they intend to answer. If there are unlimited problems to solve, then there's also unlimited earning potential to be made.
I'm thinking, cha-ching.
Do we see those problems? Albert Einstein did. And he knew that in order to solve those problems, in order to provide a solution, he needed to shift his thinking. He needed to employ a different mode of mindset in order to arrive at a solution. The truth of the matter as we dive into the day today is that we sometimes do not see the problems around us. This is where doing life together becomes critical, because others may see those things when we're in a different mode. But we must develop the habit, the practice. We must get used to making the shift between those modes of mindset, analytical, critique, creative, solution, process, so that when we arrive at an issue or a problem, we can also quickly shift into finding a solution. For your morning motivation today, I'm challenging you not only to look for solutions, but to figure out ways to see the problems. To figure out the questions to ask that not only help you to see the problems, but help others to see the problems too, without directly saying, this is the problem. And that, my friends, is your morning motivation.